What were their aims? How did they think it could succeed? And what deal was struck to end it? The Wagner Group's march on Moscow is still a mystery. The questions still swirling around about what Yevgeny Prigozhin was really up to. But what does the potential loss of his mercenary army mean for the war in Ukraine? Lieutenant General Ben Hodges is the former commander of the US Army in Europe.
The loss potentially of 25,000 Wagner troops that were being used in the fight against Ukraine will be difficult to replace. These are not 25,000 crack, paratroopers or something, but nonetheless, they were largely experienced. We saw from the video how well equipped they are. Whether or not any of them are able or decide to go ahead and re-register in the MOD, which I find very unlikely, that's still a big loss that will be difficult for the Russians to replace anytime soon.
So how will ordinary Russian soldiers dying in their thousands in Ukraine view what's happened?
If I'm a Russian soldier sitting in a trench and I will be aware to some degree of what has happened, then I have to be worrying about what's happening above me and behind me. And, what soldier wants to die or be terribly wounded in the closing days of a lost cause? If I'm starting to think like, man, this whole thing is about to collapse, I don't trust anybody around me. Their enthusiasm for fighting is going to be significantly less. And I think the Ukrainian government sees that. And so they're already launching pretty sophisticated information efforts.
15 Russian soldiers reportedly died in the mutiny, but Wagner fighters got to within 250 miles of Moscow largely unopposed.
It reminded me what UK intelligence had put out several months ago, that 95% of the Russian army is committed in Ukraine. So there was nobody else that could stop them as they rolled down the highway from Rostov through Voronezh, and then to when they finally stopped and turned around. So that really does tell me that the cupboard is bare, that there's not a lot of residual Russian military potential waiting to be put into the fight. There's nothing out there.
Vladimir Putin has undoubtedly been weakened by this insurrection, but the general thinks he might even try and turn it to his advantage.
Interestingly, this could also be an opportunity for Putin to get himself out of this mess. An autocrat can change the narrative whenever he wants. And he may say, it's obvious that we're under attack by all of NATO. This attempted mutiny was a CIA-directed thing. We need to protect the motherland. And then I think there will be a lot less enthusiasm for Donetsk and Luhansk. So you could almost envision something like that.
Prigozhin has apparently gone into exile in Belarus. His chances of surviving there for long, though, look pretty slim. What happens to his mercenary army now is unclear. The consequences for Russia, Vladimir Putin, and his special military operation yet to be played out. Simon Newton, 40 News.